Is the Donovan Mitchell trade to the New York Knicks dead? We're going to break that down on today's show as you're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. Brian Windhorst of ESPN recently talked about the idea of the Knicks revisiting a trade for Donovan Mitchell, but according to Windhorst, it does not sound like it is all that likely. He says, I don't know if the Mitchell to the Knicks trade is possible. This was the full quote. I don't know if the Donovan Mitchell Knicks thing is really still a possibility. I guess it is because he could be a free agent in a year. I don't know how Donovan feels, but I got to imagine as a kid from New York who wanted to play for the Knicks in 2022, that's where he wanted to get traded. It's not an insult to Cleveland. I'm from Cleveland. I'm not insulting it. He wanted to be a Knick. He's got to be looking at what Jalen Brunson has and feeling like, damn, that could have been me. I mean, are we ever going to get past this saga in the history of the New York Knicks? Are the Donovan Mitchell trade rumors to the New York Knicks ever going to die? I'm not sure I have an answer for that. Except for no, they are not going to die until he is a member of the New York Knicks. As long as he is rep by CAA, as long as he has a relationship with Leon Rose, as long as he continuously reps the New York Mets and he puts on for New York as he was born in New York, it is always going to be a connection. And Knicks fans, it sounds like, are always going to want him. But I want to ask all the real ones watching today's show, do you still want Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks? A lot has changed with the structure, roster, and talent of this basketball team dating back to that 2022 summer when those trade talks initially picked up. So if you have a new answer, let me know. Do you still want D-Mitch on the Knicks? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I think we can all agree on this. Donovan Mitchell is a great basketball player, and he is having one of his best seasons in the NBA this year for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now he's dealing with a little bit of an injury, had a PRP injection, probably back in about a week or two. He will always be connected to the Knicks because of the relationships with CAA, Leon Rose, players on the Knicks. But I'll tell you this much. After Josh Hart hit a fall-away step-back three in the corner at Quicken Loans Arena to put the Knicks on top without Jalen Brunson, and then he kind of yanked Donovan Mitchell's chain a little bit, I'm not so sure what his relationship is like with Josh Hart. But it would be a lot of fun to add a player like Mitchell to this roster in the offseason that on any single given night, he can go out and get you 30 or even 35 or maybe even 40. Donovan Mitchell is a special basketball player. We know that. One of the best in the league on the offensive end. I mean, you look at what he's done over the last 4 years in the NBA, and all he does is get buckets, 26.5 points per game, 26 points per game, over 28 points per game the last 2 seasons, and he's become one of the better knockdown, pull-up, three-point shooters that the association has to offer, shooting better than 38% last year, and once again, over 37% this year. It'd be a lot of fun to have 2 guys on this team, in Brunson and Mitchell, that could carry you any single given night on the offensive end. I like Mitchell. I don't know if I love Donovan Mitchell on the Knicks. We'll break that more down around the corner, but my question is this. How likely are you to recommend this show, New York Knicks Now, to your other Knicks friends? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1 being you hate this show and you wouldn't tell anybody about it, and my Widow's Peak stinks. Or 10, you love the show and you love the Widow's Peak. Let me know what you think. We're trying to get better here on the channel, and I love getting input for you guys. So let me know, how likely are you to recommend this show to all your other Real One friends? If there is a time for the New York Knicks to actually punch their tickets to the dance, which might just be a Donovan Mitchell trade, this summer is the time for Leon Rose to get it done. They didn't trade any first-round picks in the deal for OG Anunoby. They didn't trade any first-round picks in the deal for Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks. This is the summer that they want to make that trade. And it kind of lines up with the Donovan Mitchell contract. Next year, 2024, 2025, he's going to be making just a hair shy of $35 million per year. And then after next season, he has a player option that he could pick up or accept, which means he could be a free agent in the summer of 2025, but if he accepts this player option, he will then be a free agent of 2026. Why this summer, though, as a trade for the Knicks? Because of all the draft capital that they have. Potentially 4 first-round picks in 2024, 2 first-round picks at minimum in 2025, and at this current moment, they have 8 tradable first-round picks, and in total, 11 first-round picks in the next 7 years. When you talk about the 2024 draft and the 4 picks that the Knicks do have, only 2 of them are most likely to convey. This Dallas Mavericks pick and their own first-round pick, which means this Detroit top 18 protected pick will roll over to next season, which will then become top 13. Washington's top 12 first-round pick will roll over to next year, and that will become top 10. And after that, if it doesn't convey top 8, and the same thing with the Detroit Pistons trade. The Knicks have all the ammunition to get it done if they want to. I'll tell you around the corner if I think they should pull the trigger on a deal for D. Mitchell, but I got to make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because if the Knicks trade for Donovan Mitchell, we might just go live on this channel for 24 hours, because that's how long I feel like I've been talking about Donovan Mitchell on this channel. If you put all the videos together, it might just be 24 hours. So subscribe, turn the notifications on, and let's go Knicks. My question first to Leon Rose would be this: can a Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell backcourt win an NBA championship? And I really think that's the only question that you should be asking yourself on if you would make this trade. Let's talk about it in a second, but first, I got to let you guys know a little bit of a programming alert. We're bringing back the Real One t-shirts, chatsports.com/Real Knicks. That is chatsports.com/Real Knicks. Last year, we launched our blue one, and we're bringing back the black one. We had it in the summer, teased a little bit, but the playoffs are right around the corner, and you should rep Chat Sports gear and be a real one. Can the Knicks make a playoff run? If they do, you better be rocking some gear. Chatsports.com/Real Knicks. And if you get a shirt, when it shows up, take a picture of you in it and send it to me on social media, and I will share it on the show. Can a Jalen Brunson and Donovan Mitchell backcourt win it all? I'm not going to say they cannot win it all. I think they can, because when you look at the two players on this, those two players, they can easily be the best player in any given playoff series. Jalen Brunson was that against the best defense in the league last year in the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he also was that against Jimmy Butler and Eric Spoelstra. And we've seen Donovan Mitchell have some extremely high highs in the NBA playoffs. And on top of that, Donovan Mitchell has upped his defense this year across every advanced metric that calculates defensive efficiency, and has really just how much of a defensive output and effect you have on a game. Donovan Mitchell is having a career best year for him. So he's doubled down on that side of the court, and he's looked to try to become more of a two-way player in this league. On the flip side, I'm not in love with a basketball team in their starting five having two guards at the point guard and shooting guard position, both listed at 6'1". I know Donovan Mitchell has an extremely long wingspan, and some people think he's bigger than 6'1". He might be. Maybe he's 6'2", maybe he's 6'3". But he does have limitations when it comes to his defensive versatility because of the lack of height. But on the flip side of that, it is hard not to fall in love with the offensive firepower that these two would possess. 30 from Mitchell, 30 from Brunson, any single given night. And I would love the fact that, maybe right now when Brunson and Randle and Robinson and Anunoby are out, you could have an elite point guard in the game, like Donovan Mitchell. If you have Mitchell and you have Jalen Brunson, the Knicks would legit have 48 minutes of elite point guard play. We saw that Donovan Mitchell this year, when Darius Garland was out, was able to keep the Cleveland Cavaliers afloat because he was the guy playing the point guard position. You would always have either Brunson or Donovan Mitchell in a game, and I think that would always give you a good chance to win. And I am very confident in saying this: the New York Knicks are going to swing for the fences this summer. I can tell you also that Leon Rose is looking at this roster right now, and he knows that it's not a championship contender. He knows that he is going to most likely have to get somebody better than Jalen Brunson. I don't think Donovan Mitchell is better than Jalen Brunson, but he could maybe be the 1B to Jalen Brunson's 1A. I do want to go back to the 2022 NBA playoffs, where when Jalen Brunson was a member of the Dallas Mavericks, he squared off against the Utah Jazz, sent them packing to Cancun, and outplayed Donovan Mitchell, even with Luka Doncic not on the court for 2 games. Brunson was the best player in that series. This was before he signed that big contract with the Knicks. My only concern about Donovan Mitchell is the last 2 postseasons he's been a part of, he has not been efficient and he has not been effective. In 2022, shot less than 40% from the field in that playoff series versus the Mavs, and 20% from 3. Then you go to 2023, when the Knicks played the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they beat them in 5 games on the road. Donovan Mitchell was simply not good enough for the Cleveland Cavaliers to win that series. 43% from the field, 28% from 3. Am I trying to say that I think he's a guy that does not raise his level of play in the playoffs? No. But what I am saying is, over the last 2 seasons, he has been better in the regular season than he was in the postseason. Maybe that changes when he gets to play next to a guy like Jalen Brunson, but nothing is for sure in this league. I know a lot of people want to trade for Donovan Mitchell. You guys ask me all the time, but I want to ask you, who do you want the Knicks to trade for this summer? Is it D-Mitch? Is it somebody else? Give me a name of the hooper you want to see wearing orange and blue next season. Make sure you are following me over on social media as well. I'm on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, and I am on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting about the Knicks all day, every day, and I'm posting videos about our New York Knicks all day, every day. So give me a follow over there. And before you leave today's video, hit that thumbs up icon, and let's go Knicks.